welcome back to my channel and my first video in my new house. Oh my god, this is so exciting. The background isn't going to be like this, but I still haven't sorted out my filming room, so for now this is going to be my background. In case you haven't guessed already, today's video is my buying your first home Q&A. So you guys sent me in quite a few questions, all to do with buying my first house, mortgages, saving, solicitors, everything like that. And believe me when I say, I went into this absolutely clueless. Like, honestly, I had absolutely no idea about anything. How much it was going to cost for solicitors' fees, how a mortgage even worked. Honestly, guys, I had absolutely no idea. Yeah, the fact that I've actually managed to do this is kind of crazy because I had no idea. I'm obviously not an expert in this field. I'm just going to give you my experience and kind of like how I've gone through the process. Another thing I would say is that I am very much of the view that people try and scare the absolute death out of you for buying a house, that it's going to be impossible and that you're never going to be able to do anything again, and that your life's over when you've got a mortgage, and wave goodbye to holidays, wave goodbye to nights out, wave goodbye to going out for meals, like everything like that. And I think a lot of people make out that it's actually impossible to do. Now, don't get me wrong, it's very hard to get on the property ladder, but there are so many different options now that there are ways around it. And I was honestly one of those people that was like, I'm never going to get on the property ladder. I'm going to be at home forever. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love living at home, and I still go home like a few nights a week now because I just loved living at home. But I was under the impression that it was going to be impossible for me to move out unless I won a load of money, or it was going to take me years to save, or the market drastically changed. Like, honestly, guys, I didn't think it was going to be possible. So I just want you guys to know that it is possible. So as you guys will see, I have got a home account now. So I put the questions on both accounts, my main account and my home account, and I had questions on each profile. So I'm just going to get some of them up. A lot of them are the same, so I'm just going to cover a few of the main points. Okay, where are we? So quite a few of the questions relate to whether we bought the house or whether we did a part ownership scheme. So we actually bought the house. There are so many different options. So in case you don't know, the part ownership schemes are where you own a share of a property, and then as the years go on you can buy a bigger share. So for instance, you may buy 40% of a flat and then the other half you pay rent on alongside your mortgage. But it's a lot of an easier way to get on the property ladder because you don't need as much of a deposit. You can just buy bigger shares back as the years go on. So how long did the process take? Right, so let me just tell you the story of what happened. So my auntie came round. By the way, I wasn't planning to move out till the end of 2020 at least. In case I hadn't noticed, this year I'd gone on loads of holidays, I had spent a fortune, and I just did not think it was going to be possible to move out. Sorry, that was last year. Did not think it was going to be possible to move out last year. Okay, so my auntie came round and she happened to say to me that there was a property for sale down her road and that it was a really good price and it had just been refurbed, and we were kind of like, oh, like, let's just have a look. This was on a Sunday about 11 AM. 3 o'clock, I've rung the estate agent and asked to view the property. They've said that there's no one available, so we drive over there anyway just so we can have a look from the outside, get a feel for the place. The next day we went to view the property. 2 days after, we put an offer in. It happened so quickly. I just walked into this place and I knew that I wanted to live here. It just felt right. Like, people say that when you move into your house, you know that you want to live there, and I just got such a good feeling about it. I loved the decor because it was all white and grey, which, as you guys know, I love. It was the weirdest feeling. I just knew that I wanted to put an offer in. So we put an offer in the next day and that got declined, and we had to go up a few thousand. So I think we went up about 9,000 until they accepted our offer, and then that all happened within the space of a week. And I cannot tell you how stressful that process was. You really know if you want something, because honestly, I kept checking my phone. Every time the estate agent called, my heart just sunk because he would be like, oh, they haven't accepted the offer, and I'm like, oh my god, please. So it happened really quickly from that moment on. Within a week our offer got accepted, and the actual whole thing took 7 weeks, which I know is really fast, but there was no chain, so there was nobody living in our property, and obviously we're first time buyers, so there was no chain at all. So it was really quick. Don't get me wrong, I really put the pressure on with the solicitors. I was calling them every day, can we get this done? I was in Dubai with my mum and my best friend. I was ringing the solicitors from Dubai like, come on, we really need to get things moving, and it worked. Like, if you have a solicitor, you really need to push them, because at the end of the day, like, they've got so many people to deal with. If you really want to get something done, you just have to keep putting the pressure on, and believe me, it does work. So that is how long it took for us, really quick. But I know that not every like sale is that quickly. I would say, I think it says about 3 months online, 3 to 6 months, depending on, I know 6 months is such a long time, but it depends on the chain. So if you're first time buyers and there's no further chain, then it can be done in 7 weeks, because it would have been done in 6 weeks had I been on it to start with, because to start with I was just not chasing it up. I was kind of like, oh, it will just happen whenever, and then like determination set in, and I was like, no, I want this house by Christmas, and it happened. So just about. So yeah, you just have to like put the pressure on and nag them basically. I was probably just they probably saw my number come up and they probably thought, oh, not her again, but you have to do it. Okay, so did you do the Help to Buy scheme or anything like this? So no, literally, because I didn't think I was moving out this year, I didn't even open a Help to Buy ISA. I didn't have, the only one I wanted to get was a lifetime ISA, because you can open that, I think you can open that with £1, and then a year later you can then use it towards your property. But literally I had nothing like that, and in a way obviously I wish we did, because obviously you get the bonus and it would have been so much easier. But no, we didn't have anything like that. So we put down a 10% deposit. Obviously now you've got the 5% and you've obviously got other options available. So we just went for the 10%, but we didn't have any schemes like that. And a few of you have said to me, oh, I've got a Help to Buy ISA, but I don't know whether to put money in it. Obviously, if you haven't got one already, then it's finished now. And I would recommend looking at the lifetime ISA. But if you have got one and you've got a little bit of money in there, or you don't know whether to put money in there, I would always recommend it. Every little extra helps, literally, especially when you're buying a house. There's so many costs that you don't think about, so many hidden costs that just crop up and you're like, what? Like the most ridiculous things. So if you've got one, I would definitely recommend putting money into it, even if you don't know when you're going to buy a house. If I remember rightly, if you're buying a property outside of London, the most you can use it towards is 250,000, and I think in London it's 400,000. I hope I've got that right. I'm really sorry if I haven't, but like I said to you, I had no idea with that kind of thing. Another question was, if you did the Help to Buy, if so, how did it work? So although I didn't do it, one thing that I would say is, and this kind of links to another question, which is, were the additional fees a significant expense? So one thing I noticed on our breakdown from the solicitors is that they charge £400 as an admin fee for sorting out your Help to Buy kind of like ISA thingy. We didn't have that, so we didn't, that £400 got deducted. But there are so many little admin fees that they sneak on. So our solicitors fees, I don't mind talking about money because I just feel like it's helpful to other people. Our solicitors fees were just under £3,000, and that is a lot for a first time buy. It should have been a lot less than that, but we went with a solicitor that I think was quite expensive, but she got the job done. As you guys know, it was really, really quick. You can get online solicitors. I think my friend at work paid £700 for her solicitor's fees because she went with an online one, and I know a few people that have done that, but we just wanted to go with this person because my partner's dad knew her and had like recommended her. So although it was a lot more pricey than we first anticipated, it was worthwhile going with the recommendation. One thing I will say though, the fees, so we didn't pay stamp duty because it's a first time property, and secondly, the amount of fees that come up, so things like admin checks, like archiving, the searches fee, like just loads of little things that I wasn't aware of. So like I said to you, yeah, our initial quote was £4,000, then you took off £1,000 for the stamp duty, because we don't pay it. So yeah, it is pricey, and one thing I would really recommend is actually putting aside separate money for your solicitor's fees. And there's always things, when you move into a property, there's going to be always things that crop up, costs that you weren't thinking of or that you didn't plan for, but that's just the way it works, and you just deal with it when it comes, like when it happens. How does a mortgage work? Okay, so our mortgage is a repayment mortgage. You can get a mortgage where you just pay interest back. That wasn't for us, and we wanted just a standard repayment mortgage where we pay back obviously interest and our mortgage. So like I said to you, we had a mortgage of 90% because we put down a 10% deposit. So our mortgage goes out once a month, and we went for a 5-year fixed term. Now you'll get offered, I think it's a 2-year and a 3-year or a 5-year. So we felt that 2 years was too quick. So basically the cheapest rate you will get offered is for 2 years, because that's a fixed fee for 2 years, and it's cheaper because obviously after 2 years you remortgage. So we got 5 years, which was a little bit more expensive, but we were able to afford it. We were able to pay that a little bit more. So we know now for the next 5 years we haven't got to pay any more. Our mortgage price isn't going to change, basically. It's going to be the same for the next 5 years, no matter what happens to the market, no matter how the interest rates change, anything like that. So if you can afford to go up, then I know that a lot of people have done that. A lot of my friends went for 5 years also. But you never know, you could get a 2 years and then the interest rates could improve, and then you can remortgage and get a better rate. Like, it really is just up to you and your personal circumstances. The other thing is it easy to buy your first home? So like I said at the beginning, I was like so like worried, thinking I was never going to be able to move out. So it is a lot easier than people think. So I had a bit of savings in my account, and so did my partner, but I still made sure I enjoyed my life. Like, I went on holiday last year, I went out with my friends, I went out for dinner. Guys, you know how much I love food. Like, I still went out for food because I wasn't planned. My bank statements were atrocious. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when the mortgage advisor, and which I'll come on to in a minute, and the solicitors asked for my bank account details, I was like, okay, because honestly there was like Nando's, McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, everything, and I just thought, oh my god, I've spent an absolute fortune. They're gonna be like, how is this girl gonna pay a mortgage? But literally it was fine, and we were so worried. So the best thing I would recommend for you guys to do if you are thinking about getting a mortgage is go and see a mortgage advisor. So we went to see ours after we found the house. So yeah, like I said, it was so last minute, we hadn't even ever seen a mortgage advisor. So we had looked online, and I would recommend looking at the Halifax mortgage calculator and the Nationwide one. I think those are the two. They are really accurate and really useful. But we went to the mortgage advisor, and he had so many different options available. So they cost about £250, but they organise everything. They apply for your mortgage, they can sort out your life insurance, they can sort out your house insurance if you want them to. They are just really helpful, and are there with you for you every step of the way. Like, they organise everything. So one thing that I will say is, if you have been saving, they will obviously question, because of money laundering and everything like that, they want to see proof that you've been saving, basically where the money's come from, how long it's taken you. So I think I provided 4 months statements to show that I had been saving, and they wanted to see my savings account and my normal bank account just to see that it all matched up. And they questioned me. I mean, I don't think this is normal. I'm not sure if this is every solicitor, but my solicitor literally questioned me on everything. I sold a dress to someone for £25, and she was like, what's this payment of £25 for? And I'm like, okay, that was a bit dramatic, but literally they checked everything, but it was all fine. So yeah, as long as you're saving, just make sure that you've got like a record of everything clearly, because it just makes things a lot easier when it comes to it. In terms of saving, how did I save up some money whilst doing everything? The best thing I can recommend, I don't know what bank you guys are with, but if your bank offers the save the change option, basically if it rounds up the money that you don't spend on your card and puts it into a separate account. So if I spend like £1.49, the remaining 51p goes into your savings, and it sounds minuscule, but it adds up so quickly because you don't realise, like, there are so many things that come to like £4.20, that 80p gets chucked into your savings, and it just adds up and adds up and adds up. And that is literally how I've done it. For my birthday money, I put into my savings just because I didn't need to buy anything. The best thing I can advise is budgeting, meal plan, write down all your outgoings and all your income and your incoming money, and just work out where you can afford to save. Anything is better than nothing, and trust me, it all adds up, I promise. It's just the best thing you can do is saving, and it's actually really addictive. Once you see that money stacking up, you just get actually into a bit of an obsession with it, and you keep stacking it up. Save whenever you can, but don't put so much pressure on yourself that you don't enjoy your life, because life is so short that you still need to be able to do the things that you want to do. Even if you have to cut back, you can still do those things. So another question is, how does it work when you're putting an offer in? Okay, so I literally had no idea. I called the estate agent and I literally went, hi, I'd like to put an offer in please of X, Y and Z amount. And he went, okay, I'll put it forward to the seller and get back to you. And I was like, is that it? All he needed was a copy of our driving licence and passport just to verify who we were. That was literally it. I'm not even kidding. We didn't have a solicitor, we didn't have a mortgage advisor, we didn't have anything by that point. We didn't even know like that we could definitely buy this property. Like, we just based it on the online mortgage calculators. So the first thing we did was put the offer in, and then a week later we met with the mortgage advisor. So don't feel scared. Like I said to you, if I can do it, then any of you can, trust me, because I'm clueless. I was like saying to him on the phone about putting offers in, I had no idea what I was talking about. He was like, oh, have you got a mortgage in place? And I lied and I said, yeah, we've got a mortgage in principle. We didn't, by the way, but they don't need to know that. So as long as you think you can definitely like get the mortgage, then you can still put offers in. But obviously I would still recommend getting a mortgage advisor first, just because, yeah, you might feel a little bit less sort of on edge and awkward when they call you and ask these questions. But the online mortgage calculators really are useful, and there are so many different options that a mortgage advisor can provide for you, so I would recommend just going to speak to them and seeing what they can say. We got £500 cash back from our mortgage provider just for going with them for our first time property, and I know other friends that have got £1,000 cash back. So those kind of incentives really do help, because we've just got that £500 back now, and that's just a nice little treat to get in your bank account after you've paid for everything else. So look out for those also, because they are really worth doing. What does it mean when you say we've completed? Okay, so you exchange and you complete. So exchange is like the exchange of the contracts, and then complete means here's the keys, the property's yours, bye, basically. We exchanged and completed on the same day. It was such a rush, and we completed on the 19th of December because we wanted it done in Christmas. So it was a mad rush. So everything was done on the same day. So we picked up the keys and we exchanged contracts on the same day. It just happened, and it was all at the right time. So sometimes I think just take the pressure off yourself a little bit and just keep saving or like working towards your goal, and it will just happen. Like honestly, everything just falls into place. So the main thing I would say is definitely speak to a mortgage advisor, save, look at the different options available for you, and definitely make use of all the schemes that are out there at the moment, whether that be if you've already got the Help to Buy ISA or the Lifetime ISA. I think there's another one and I can't think what it's called. I can't think now, but there are so many different options available, and it is really worth just doing a little bit of research online. I'll put the mortgage calculators in the description below. One thing I will also say is put money aside for everything that you need as well, because like I said to you, it was so spontaneous for us. We didn't put any money aside for like buying everything when we got into the property, so we had a little bit aside, but we hadn't put as much away as we wanted to. But that's fine, you just make it work. I hope this video has been informative for you guys and has answered your questions. Thank you so much for asking the questions, and again I will link both my Instagrams in the description box. You can just drop me a message at any time, ask me anything you want. I don't mind talking about like anything basically. I'm really open to like answer any of your questions. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video really soon.